Good morning, I'm Reverend Anna Segan, and it is a joy to be with you today to read from the Revised Common Lectionary for October 12th, 2021. O Lord, open my lips and my mouth shall proclaim your praise. Psalm 51, verse 15. I pray to you, O Lord. You hear my voice in the morning. At sunrise I offer my prayer and wait for your answer. Psalm 5, verses 2 through 3. Our first reading today comes from Psalm 104, verses 1 through 23. Hear the word of the Lord. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord, my God, you are very great. You are clothed with honor and majesty, wrapped in light as with a garment. You stretch out the heavens like a tent. You set the beams of your chambers on the waters. You make the clouds your chariot. You ride the wings of the wind. You make the winds your messengers. Fire and flame, your ministers. You set the earth on its foundations so that it shall never be shaken. You cover it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. At your rebuke they flee. At the sound of your thunder they take to flight. They rose up to the mountains, ran down to the valleys, to the place that you appointed for them. You set a boundary that they may not pass, so that they may not again cover the earth. You make springs gush forth in the valleys. They flow between the hills, giving drink to every wild animal. The wild asses quench their thirst. By the streams, the birds of the air have their habitation. They sing among the branches. From your lofty abode, you water the mountains. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of your work. You cause the grass to grow for the cattle and plants for people to use, to bring forth food from the earth and wine to gladden the human heart, oil to make the face shine, and bread to strengthen the human heart. The trees of the Lord are watered abundantly, the cedars of Lebanon that he planted. In them the birds build their nests. The stork has its home in the fir trees. The high mountains are for the wild goats. The rocks are for refuge for the conies. You have made the moon to mark the season. The sun knows it's time for setting. You make darkness, and it is night, when all the animals of the forest come creeping out. Young lions roar for their prey, seeking their food from God. When the sun rises, they withdraw and lie down in their dens. People go out to work and to their labor until the evening. Our Older Testament reading for today comes from Jeremiah chapter 36, verse 27 through chapter 37, verse 2. Now, after the king had burned the scroll with the words that Baruch wrote at Jeremiah's dictation, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, take another scroll and write on it all the former words that were in the first scroll which King Jehoiakim of Judah has burned. And concerning Jehoiakim of Judah, you shall say, thus says the Lord, you have dared to burn this scroll, saying, why have you written it that the king of Babylon will certainly come and destroy this land and will cut off from it human beings and animals? Therefore thus says the Lord concerning King Jehoiakim of Judah, he shall have no one to sit upon the throne of David. And his dead body shall be cast out to the heat of the day and the frost by night. And I will punish him and his offspring and his servants for their iniquity. I will bring on them and on the inhabitants of Jerusalem and on the people of Judah all the disasters which I have threatened them. But they would not listen. Then Jeremiah took another scroll and gave it to the secretary Baruch, son of Neriah, who wrote on it at Jeremiah's dictations all the words of the scroll that King Jehoiakim of Judah had burned in the fire. And many similar words were added to them. Zedekiah, son of Josiah, whom King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon had made king in the land of Judah, succeeded Coniah, son of Jehoiakim. But neither he nor his servants nor the people of the land listened to the words of the Lord that he spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Our Newer Testament reading for today comes from 1 Corinthians 14, 1 through 12. Pursue love and strive for the spiritual gifts, and especially that you may prophesy. For those who speak in a tongue do not speak to other people but to God. For nobody understands them, since they are speaking mysteries in the Spirit. On the other hand, those who prophesy speak to other people for their upbuilding and encouragement and consolation. Those who speak in a tongue build up themselves, but those who prophesy build up the church. Now, I would like all of you to speak in tongues, but even more to prophesy. One who prophesies is greater than the one who speaks in tongues, unless someone interprets so that the church may be built up. Now, brothers and sisters, if I come to you speaking in tongues, how will I benefit unless I speak to you in some revelation or knowledge or prophecy or teaching? It is the same way with lifeless instruments that produce sound, such as a flute or a harp. If they do not give distinct notes, how will anyone know what is being played? And if the bugle gives an indistinct sound, who will get ready for battle? So with yourselves, if in a tongue you utter speech that is not intelligible, how will anyone know what is being said? For you will be speaking into the air. There are, doubtless, many different kinds of sounds in the world, and nothing is without sound. If then I do not know the meaning of the sound, I will be a foreigner to the speaker, and the speaker a foreigner to me. So with yourselves. Since you are eager for the spiritual gifts, strive to excel in them, for the building up of the church. Our gospel reading today comes from Matthew chapter 10, verses 16 through 23. See, I am sending you out like sheep into the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of them, for they will hand you over to councils and flog you in their synagogues. You will be dragged before governors and kings because of me, as a testimony to them and the Gentiles. When they hand you over, do not worry about how you are to speak or what you are to say, for what you are to say will be given to you at the time. For it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brother will betray brother to death, and father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. But you will be hated by all because of my name. The one who endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. For truly I tell you, you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. This is the word of the Lord. If you've enjoyed today's readings, I encourage you to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you back here tomorrow. God bless.